Suppose, if the Turks had not blocked the trading route to Asia, Europeans would have never felt the need to find an alternate route. Christopher Columbus would have never gone west in search of India, and American continents would not have been found the way it happened. In short, the United States of America might not have existed if it wasn't for the Turks. Causes create effects that shape the world we live in. Noble must have experimented and perfected the simulations, and now wishes to repeat it in the real world. But the question is, what will be his triggering events?
Castle Corporation is Prism Science's arch-rival. Unlike Prism Science, Castle Corporation is completely owned by the private sector, making it outside the purview of government regulation. Its current CEO, like its founder, is very ambitious and self-righteous. His ambitions had led the corporation to many breakthroughs in the past decade. There were rumors that Castle CEO Eric Noble is so obsessed with a perfect world, he even had considered altering the timeline of events to achieve it. Changing the past will affect the present, and observing the future will alter it. But there are three kinds of possibilities: fixed, predestination, and multiverse. The fixed theory assumes events cannot be altered. The predestination theory assumes the events are bound to happen even if you alter it, while the multiverse theory believes the change after alteration will affect a different realm, and therefore won't affect our world. Time dilation was a one-way trip. We have to experiment with the coordinates and create a two-way trip to make it clear. If we study the radio frequency coordinates received from Russian intelligence, we will understand that there are 4 numbers, 3 of space and 1 of time. Our wormhole had just 3. 4th was accidental.
My crime was informing the police regarding an illegal and unethical experiment that had been taking place in the hospital without any evidence. Initially, the experiments were undertaken on patients in coma, but later on they were carried out on patients without any families, so that nobody would care for them if something goes wrong. Through these experiments, they tried transferring a person's consciousness temporarily to a different body. Chips planted on the patient's spinal cords acted as connections between the bodies and transferred data. When I informed the hospital authorities, they asked me to ignore it and keep it to myself. They thought I wouldn't jeopardize my career and the hospital's image for my moral code. They were wrong. I immediately went to the police. But without any real evidence, my case did not stand in the police station. The hospital authorities realized that I had now become a bigger liability than I ever was an asset.
The coat of arms consisted of a circular shield with a cow on it. The cow symbolized Buddhavi, the Hindu goddess of earth and the nation's personification. A parasol above the shield symbolized protection of the earth, but also sometimes signified the suzerainty of federal states over other Indian nations. A lion and an elephant supported the shield from left and right respectively. A lion subjugating an elephant has been a common theme displayed in Indian art. It usually existed in temples and forts. This kind of iconography usually depicted a subjugation of a king or a dynasty over the other. In the Kailasa temple of Ellora caves, it depicted the victory of Rashtrakuta over Chalukyas. In early Maratha art, a lion was depicted holding 4 elephants under its legs and a 5th one on its tail. Here, the lion symbolized the Marathas, while elephants symbolized the regional sultanates of the time. In time, the symbol of the lion became synonymous with the kings, while the elephants became a symbol for the people. After the democratization of the federal states, the lion and the elephant became equals. The lion now symbolized kingdoms, while the elephant symbolized republics within the federal states.
There were some banners and flags installed on the edges of the road leading to the mansion, which bore a unique symbol. I looked at the symbol and immediately understood that it was the official seal of Suvarna Shakti. It was a red gear inside a saffron-colored sun. The red gear was a symbol of the workers' union, and the saffron sun symbolized the golden era. It seemed like a blend of far-left and far-right ideologies. A voice turned my attention away from the banner seal to the open ground on the left that was enclosed by wooden fences. What was once a horse stable for the castle keeper now was turned into a stage, which was a gathering spot for SS militants and operatives. On the stage, someone was giving a speech. I understood it must be him.
The flag of the federal states had horizontal tri-colored bands that reminded us of the Indian flag. But instead of green, there was red, and the Ashoka chakra was missing. The saffron, white and red bands were derived from the colors of the flags of its dominant member states. Saffron stood for dharma and righteousness, white for peace and prosperity, and red for nationalism and courage. Incidentally, each of these colors were added to the flag after a specific historical event. The saffron flag was formed when the Maratha kingdom was founded by Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj with the idea of Hindavi Swarajya. It stood for self-rule and independence from the imperial outsiders. In time, the Swarajya itself became an empire and dominated the subcontinent. In later periods, they had their own version of social renaissance, which led to a political reformation. This turned the empire into an onocratic confederation, and the white band represented this change. This change was carried out by a new class of educated elites, but during the early 1940s, another revolution took place which turned the confederation into a federation of independent Swarajyas. Just as the White Revolution was caused by the educated elites, the Red Revolution was caused by the educated working class who asked for a true democracy with republican values. This change was represented by the red band. In a way, the saffron symbolized the right-wing conservatives, the white symbolized centrist Democrat, and the red for left-wing socialist. Balance of these three ideas continued to be the country's character.